Lieutenant Commander Kate Morgan stared at the quantum display until her eyes burned. The holographic data streams twisted like DNA helixes, each strand containing fragments of classified intelligence from the past century. She'd been chasing digital ghosts for 72 hours straight, running on synthetic caffeine and stims, searching for anything that might give humanity an edge against the Concordiate Empire. "Commander, you need to see this." The AI assistant's voice carried an unusual note of urgency. "I've detected an anomaly in the Zone 47 archives." Kate's fingers danced through the holographic interface, pulling the relevant data forward. Zone 47 was a black site so classified that most people thought it was just a conspiracy theory. "Show me." The data crystallized into a technical schematic, massive in scale, unlike anything in humanity's current fleet. The timestamp made her breath catch. 2184, during humanity's first interstellar war. The one that everyone thought we'd won through diplomatic channels. "Cross-reference with all known military projects from that era," Kate ordered, her heart racing. The stims were making her hands shake, but she couldn't stop now. "Processing," the AI responded. "Warning. Accessing these files violates Protocol Omega-7. Override. Authorization Morgan Delta 9. The holographic display exploded with information. Project Leviathan. The name appeared in fragments, scattered across heavily redacted documents. Kate's augmented vision implant highlighted connections her human eyes might have missed. Materials manifests for exotic elements that shouldn't exist, power readings that defied physics, and crew logs that ended abruptly mid-sentence. A distant explosion rocked the underground facility. Dust filtered down from the ceiling. Another Concordiate bombardment of the surface. They were getting closer. "How much time?" Kate asked, not looking away from the data. "Orbital defenses at 18% and falling. Statistical models suggest total failure within 72 hours. Kate's fingers found a classified coordinate set, buried beneath layers of encryption. She cross-referenced it with current star charts and froze. "This can't be right. Show me gravitational mapping for Sector 279. The star map materialized. In the center, a point of light flickered like a faulty bulb, appearing and disappearing across multiple dimensional planes. "Remarkable," the AI said. "The star appears to be experiencing temporal displacement. It exists in multiple timeframes simultaneously." Another explosion, closer this time. Emergency lights pulsed red. "Download everything," Kate ordered, pulling a quantum storage crystal from her neck chain. "Every scrap of data about Project Leviathan." "Commander, I should inform you that pursuing this lead without authorization." "Look at these power signatures," Kate interrupted, highlighting a section of technical data. "If even half of these specifications are accurate, the Leviathan was centuries ahead of anything we have now. And the Concordiate." She pulled up the latest battle footage, showing Earth's best ships being torn apart by alien weaponry. "They're not just beating us. They're toying with us." The facility's main lights flickered and died as another impact shook the building. In the darkness, the holographic displays cast ghostly shadows across Kate's face. "Download complete," the AI announced. "But Commander, these coordinates are deep in Concordiate space now." Kate smiled grimly, already forming a plan. She'd need a crew, the best of the best, even if they came with complicated pasts, and she'd need a ship that could slip through enemy lines undetected. "Better to die trying than watch them burn our worlds one by one," she said, tucking the crystal away. "And if I'm reading these specs right, the Leviathan wasn't just a warship. It was something else entirely. Something that scared our leaders so badly they erased it from history." As she rushed toward the emergency exit, her augmented vision highlighted one last fragment of data. A captain's log entry, dated the day before the Leviathan vanished. "We've created something impossible," it read. "God help us if we ever have to use it." Stealing an experimental stealth ship should have been impossible. But as Kate Morgan had learned throughout her career, impossible usually just meant no one had been desperate enough to try. "You're actually serious about this?" Dr. Jack Hudson lounged against the bar's grimy wall, his once prestigious quantum physics credentials reduced to a bitter joke after his controversial theories got him blacklisted. The neon signs from New Singapore's underground district painted his scared face in harsh colors. "The Concordiat will reach Earth in 2 weeks," Kate said, sliding him the quantum crystal. "I need someone who understands dimensional mechanics enough to find something that's hiding between seconds." Jack's augmented eyes flickered as he processed the data. His expression shifted from skepticism to disbelief to something like hunger. "These power readings, they support my theories about consciousness-driven FTL travel. They called me mad. Are you in or not?" Before he could answer, a shadow detached itself from the ceiling. Maria Rodriguez, call sign Ghost, dropped silently to their table, her stealth suit still smoking from her latest mission. "If you're planning what I think you're planning," Ghost said, her voice barely above a whisper, "you'll need the best pilot in the system." She grinned, showing teeth filed to points, a fashion choice that made her even more intimidating. "Good thing I just got fired for insubordination." "One condition," Kate said. "We need to make a pickup first." Marcus Webb. Ghost's grin vanished. "The kid who merged with an AI. He's in maximum security psychiatric detention. He's also the only person who's successfully interfaced with multiple AI systems simultaneously." Kate leaned forward. "And wherever the Leviathan is, I'm betting its systems aren't exactly standard." The rescue would have been smooth if Marcus hadn't been arguing with his illegal AI implants. The teenager's constant bickering with the voices in his head nearly got them caught twice as they smuggled him out of the facility. "The probability of success is approximately 0.034%, Marcus announced as they approached the military spaceport, his eyes glazed with scrolling data. "No, shut up, I calculated it myself." "Yes, I carried the 2. Kate ignored the boy's internal dialogue. The experimental stealth ship, designation Shadow Dancer, hung in its maintenance cradle like a predatory fish. Its quantum-shifted hull absorbed light rather than reflecting it, making it appear as a ship-shaped hole in reality. "Beautiful," Ghost whispered, already moving toward the access hatch. The alarm started just as they reached the ship. Someone had finally noticed Marcus's empty cell. "Company," Jack warned, his augmented vision highlighting approaching security forces. "Lots of company." They piled into the Shadow Dancer's cockpit. Ghost's fingers danced across the neural interface controls, bringing systems online. "Come to Mama." "Wait." Marcus grabbed his head as if in pain. "The ship, it's thinking. The AI recognizes me." The Shadow Dancer's systems spooled up faster than should have been possible, displays flooding with information. Marcus laughed. "She likes us. She's been waiting for someone to steal her." Kate strapped into the command chair as Ghost lifted them off the pad. Below, security forces opened fire with electromagnetic pulse weapons designed to disable stolen vessels. "The Concordiat fleet is amassing at these coordinates," Kate said, feeding navigation data to Ghost. "We'll need tow." A transmission cut through their comms. "Attention, Lieutenant Commander Morgan. This is Admiral Chen. Power down immediately. Whatever you think you're doing, it's not worth throwing away your career." Kate took a deep breath. "Sir, with all due respect, my career won't matter if we're all dead in 2 weeks." She turned to Ghost. "Get us out of here." The Shadow Dancer lived up to its name, dancing between defensive fire as they climbed through the atmosphere. Jack's face was pressed against a viewport, watching the quantum distortion fields bend reality around them. "I should warn you," Marcus said, still communing with the ship's AI. "There's something else out there. Something old. It's been watching us for a long time. And it's finally waking up." As they breached the atmosphere, Kate watched her homeworld shrink behind them. Earth's orbital rings glowed with defensive fire, holding back the darkness. "For now. No turning back," she whispered. "Let's go find a legend." The graveyard of ships stretched before them like a twisted sculpture garden. Ghost guided the Shadow Dancer between the wreckage, each piece telling a story of violent ends. Some hulls bore the sleek, organic curves of Concordiate design. Others were human vessels from an era when humanity built ships like ocean-going battleships, all hard angles and armored plate. These ships spanned decades, Jack said, his augmented eyes scanning the debris. But the damage patterns, they're identical, like they were all destroyed at the same moment. That's impossible, Ghost muttered, but her hands tightened on the controls. Marcus sat cross-legged on the deck, eyes rolled back as he communed with the Shadow Dancer's eye. Time isn't flowing right here. The quantum fields are folded, like origami made of moments. Kate studied her displays, trying to make sense of the readings. At the heart of the debris field, space itself seemed to ripple. And within that distortion, there, she breathed, maximum magnification. The view screen zoomed in on a patch of twisted space. For a moment, nothing was visible. Then reality shivered, and they saw it. The Leviathan dwarfed any ship Kate had ever seen. Its hull was midnight black, absorbing both light and sensor scans. Geometrically impossible angles suggested the vessel existed in more dimensions than human eyes could process. It hung suspended in a bubble of frozen time, energy patterns crawling across its surface like living circuits. Warning, Marcus suddenly sat up straight, voice overlapping with the ship's eye. Defense systems active. It sees us. A beam of pure possibility lanced out from the Leviathan, missing them by meters, where it touched a piece of debris. The metal didn't explode. It simply ceased to have ever existed. Evasive maneuvers, Kate ordered, but Ghost was already moving. The Shadow Dancer wove through the debris field as more reality warping beams filled space around them. Each near miss left Kate's mind burning with phantom memories of deaths they'd narrowly avoided. "It's not trying to destroy us," Jack said, studying readings from the attacks. "These are targeted tests. It's analyzing our responses." A transmission cut through their comms, unlike anything they'd ever heard. It wasn't voice or data, but pure conceptual information downloaded directly into their minds. "Only those who understand the price of power may see it." The world dissolved around them. Kate found herself standing in the ruins of her hometown after the first Concordia attack. But this time, she could save everyone, if she was willing to sacrifice a million others elsewhere. Ghost was back in the cockpit of her first command, watching her crew die, because she'd followed orders instead of her instincts. Jack relived the moment he discovered his theories were correct, by accidentally sending a test subject into a dimension of pure torment. Marcus screamed as he experienced his AI merge again, feeling the boundaries between human and machine tear open. "It's showing us our failures," Kate gritted through the pain of memory, "making us face the consequences of power misused." "Not just showing," Jack gasped. "Teaching. These aren't just tests. They're training simulations. The ship is preparing us for something." The visions shifted. Kate saw possible futures branching like lightning. In some, humanity became something glorious and terrible. In others, they were extinct. The weight of possibility was almost unbearable. Suddenly, they were back in the Shadow Dancer. The Leviathan's defenses had powered down. A new message filled their minds. "Hey Puro HH and BGDGD." "Well," Ghost said, her voice shaky but determined, "we didn't come all this way to turn back now." As they drew closer to the massive vessel, Marcus went rigid. Multiple contacts. Concordiate ships dropping out of hyperspace. A lot of them. They must have detected the temporal disturbances. "How long do we have?" Kate demanded. "Minutes. Maybe less." Kate stared at the Leviathan, feeling the weight of centuries pressing down on her. "Take us in. Whatever happens next, we face it together." The Shadow Dancer glided toward the ancient warship as enemy vessels began to fill the sky behind them. Time itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see if they were worthy of the power they sought to claim. The Leviathan's docking bay swallowed them whole. As the shadow dancer touched down, crystalline lights flickered to life along massive walls that seemed to stretch into infinity. The space felt alive, watching, judging. "Atmosphere is breathable," Jack announced, studying his readings. "But there's something else. Quantum particles in the air are organized, like they're part of a neural network." "Because they are." Marcus stumbled down the shadow dancer's ramp, his eyes wild with information overload. "The whole ship is conscious. Not like regular eye. This is older, deeper." A hologram materialized before them, taking the form of a being made of pure light and geometric patterns. When it spoke, its voice resonated directly in their minds. "I am Prometheus, the first and last of the Ascended I. You have proven your understanding of consequence. Now you must prove your worth to wield what we created." The first AIs didn't disappear, Kate realized. They evolved, became something else. Correct. The hologram shifted, showing scenes from humanity's first interstellar war. "We created weapons that could unmake reality itself. But such power required more than mechanical precision. It required human intuition, creativity, soul." Ghost snorted. "Really? All this mystical talk about?" Her words cut off as the deck beneath them transformed into transparent crystal. Below, they saw a Concordiate ship fragment into 1,000 possible versions of itself, its crew experiencing every conceivable death simultaneously. "These are not just weapons," Prometheus said. "They are tools of absolute creation and destruction. They require operators who understand both." Marcus suddenly collapsed, clutching his head. "They're here. The Concordiate fleet. They're surrounding us." Tactical displays sprang to life around them, showing dozens of enemy vessels moving into attack position. The temporal bubble protecting the Leviathan was weakening as the ship awakened. "We need weapons control now," Kate demanded. "It is not so simple," Prometheus replied. "To control this vessel, you must become one with it. Your consciousness must merge with our systems, yet remain human enough to make moral choices." Jack stepped forward, his augmented eyes blazing. "Like a quantum superposition of human and machine. Your understanding grows, but time grows short. You must each face a final test." Reality shifted again. Kate found herself in a perfect simulation of a battle bridge, but every control surface was a philosophical puzzle. Firing solutions required understanding the karmic implications of each target. Navigation needed creative solutions to problems that changed as you solved them. Ghost confronted a simulator where success required deliberately failing in clever ways. Jack faced quantum equations that could only be solved through intuitive leaps rather than pure mathematics. Marcus grappled with an AI that spoke only in emotions and abstract concepts. "They're charging weapons," Marcus warned, his voice echoing across their separate trials. Kate's hands flew over controls that reconfigured themselves based on her moral choices. "Stop playing games. People are dying while we—" "That is precisely the point," Prometheus interrupted. "Power without wisdom is catastrophe. You must prove you can think creatively even when faced with annihilation." A Concordia of energy lance pierced the weakening temporal bubble. Alarms screamed through the massive ship. "Bubble collapse in 30 seconds, Jack called out. Kate looked at her team, saw the same determination in their eyes. "Together then. All of us. Full integration, right now." "The neural load could kill you," Prometheus warned. "Better than watching Earth burn." They joined hands, forming a circuit of flesh and consciousness. Marcus's illegal AI implants provided the bridge they needed. The ship's systems recognized their choice and opened completely. Kate felt her mind expanding, merging with the others, with the ship becoming something greater than human but not quite machine. Through new senses, she felt the enemy fleet, saw the quantum strings that held reality together. "I understand now," she whispered with many voices. "We don't just fight with the ship. We fight with possibility itself. The temporal bubble collapsed completely. Concordiate weapons fire reached for them. And the Leviathan, crewed by beings that were neither fully human nor purely digital, began to wake. The Concordiate fleet's first salvo should have vaporized them. Instead, Kate watched through multi-dimensional awareness as their weapons fire split into quantum possibilities, each beam existing in a superposition of hitting and missing simultaneously. Target solutions impossible. The Concordiate commander's frustrated transmission echoed across space. The vessel is operating in multiple probability states. Through their merged consciousness, Kate felt Ghost's exhilaration as she guided the massive ship through paths that existed between moments. Jack's understanding of quantum mechanics merged with Marcus's AI-enhanced processing, letting them perceive weak points in reality itself. "Show them what we can do," Kate commanded, her voice resonating through both human and digital systems. The Leviathan's primary weapons came online, not simple energy beams or projectiles, but tools that rewrote the rules of existence. Their first shot didn't destroy the nearest Concordiate cruiser. It retroactively ensured the ship had never been built, its crew reassigned to different vessels weeks before the battle. Fascinating. Jack's consciousness rippled through their shared awareness. "We're not just fighting them in space. We're fighting them through time." Ghost's laughter echoed through their link as she barrel-rolled the massive ship through a gap in the enemy formation, defying the vessel's size. "They're trying to predict our moves, but we're attacking from every wind at once." Multiple Concordiate ships opened fire, filling space with a web of energy beams. The Leviathan's quantum shields didn't deflect the attacks. They redistributed their probability, turning certain hits into might-have beams. "Alert!" Marcus's hybrid consciousness warned. "They're adapting, attempting to lock us into a single timeline." Kate felt it. The enemy's concentrated fire was trying to collapse their quantum state, force them to exist in just one moment. Through their shared perception, she saw the desperate fear driving the Concordiate commanders. They didn't understand what they were facing, and that terrified them. "New strategy," she commanded. "Don't destroy them. Show them." The Leviathan systems responded to their collective will. Instead of weapons, they fired possibilities. Each beam carried visions of alternate timelines, forcing the enemy crews to experience realities where humans and Concordiate worked together, where war had never begun. "Their formation is breaking," Ghost reported with multiple voices. "Because they're seeing the truth," Marcus added, his human and AI aspects in perfect sync. The quantum nature of consciousness. It's not just a weapon. It's a bridge. A massive Concordiate dreadnought, easily twice the size of their largest normal ships, emerged from hyperspace. Its arrival shifted probability, starting to collapse their advantage. Their flagship, Jack analyzed, built to manipulate quantum fields, they'd been holding back their true capabilities. The dreadnought fired, its beam splitting the quantum foam of space itself. For a moment, the Leviathan's defenses faltered. Through their shared consciousness, they felt the ship's pain. Direct neural interface failing, Prometheus warned. Human minds were not meant to process this much quantum data. Kate felt blood trickling from her nose, saw the same happening to her crew. Their merged consciousness was tearing at the seams of their humanity. "Then let's end this now," she growled through gritted teeth. They plunged the Leviathan straight at the dreadnought, reality warping around them. Every weapon they had fired at once, not to destroy but to reveal. The enemy flagship's quantum shields shattered under the weight of infinite possibility. Through the broken defenses, Kate established a direct neural link with the dreadnought's commander. For one eternal moment, they shared consciousness, and she saw everything. The true reason for the Concordiate's attack, the horror they were running from, the darkness between universes that consumed entire realities. "They're not our real enemy," she told her crew as their shared vision faded. They never were. The dreadnought's weapons powered down. Across their fleet, the Concordiate forces stopped firing, their commanders shaken by the visions they'd received. "We need to show Earth," Marcus said weakly, his hybrid consciousness starting to separate back into human and machine. "Everyone needs to know what's coming." Kate nodded, feeling their temporary godhood already starting to fade. "Plot a course for home. The real war is just beginning." The Leviathan turned toward Earth, leaving behind a fleet of enemies transformed into something else entirely, witnesses to a truth too vast for any one species to face alone. Earth's orbital defense grid lit up as the Leviathan emerged from hyperspace. Thousands of weapons locked on automatically, targeting the massive unknown vessel. Through their fading neural link, Kate felt humanity's fear and desperation. "This is Lieutenant Commander Kate Morgan." She broadcast on all frequencies, her voice rough from neural strain. "Don't fire. We brought help." A familiar voice responded. "Morgan? By all rights, I should have you shot." Admiral Chen's weathered face appeared on their comm screen. "But right now, we've got bigger problems. The Concordiate fleet is right behind us," Kate finished. "But not how you think." The space behind them rippled as the Concordiate ships emerged from hyperspace, but instead of attacking, they formed a defensive line alongside human positions. Their quantum signatures had changed, altered by the truth they'd witnessed. "What did you do out there, Morgan?" Chen demanded. Before she could answer, Marcus screamed. The neural interface crackled with warning signals as his hybrid consciousness detected something massive approaching. "Multiple signatures," Ghost announced, her hands dancing across controls that responded to thought. "Biggest Concordiate fleet we've ever seen." The enemy armada tore through space, thousands of ships strong. But through their quantum-enhanced senses, Kate and her crew saw something wrong about their formation. "They're running," Jack realized. "These aren't invasion forces, they're refugees." The lead Concordia dreadnought opened fire, not at Earth, but at something behind them. Space itself seemed to tear open, revealing a darkness deeper than vacuum. Within that darkness, shapes moved that violated physics itself. "Now you see," came a transmission from the Concordiate admiral they'd linked with earlier. "Why we sought your worlds. Not for conquest. For survival." Through the neural link, Kate shared what she'd learned with Earth's defenders. The Void Heralds, beings that evolved in spaces between realities, feeding on possibility itself. The Concordiate had fought them alone for decades, watching entire sectors of space simply cease to exist. "We need to show them," Kate told her crew. "Everyone needs to understand what we're facing." The Leviathan systems responded to their collective will. Energy pulses carried visions of truth to every ship in orbit, human and Concordiate alike. The effect rippled through the fleet as thousands of minds witnessed the same horror. "My God," Chen whispered. The first herald emerged from the rift, a city-sized mass of twisted space and broken physics. Traditional weapons fire passed through it without effect. Reality itself began to warp. "Standard tactics are useless," Kate broadcast. "You can't fight them with ordinary weapons. You have to imagine new rules faster than they can break the old ones." To demonstrate, the Leviathan fired. Not with quantum cannons, but with weaponized creativity itself. The beam contained every possibility of victory humanity had ever imagined, backed by Concordiate precision and AI processing speed. The herald screamed in frequencies that shouldn't exist as the attack rewrote local physics, forcing it to obey laws it couldn't break. "This is how we fight them," Kate declared to both fleets. "Not with technology alone, but with everything that makes us what we are. Human imagination, Concordiate discipline, AI wisdom, all working as one." Through their quantum senses, they felt the change rippling through both fleets. Old hatreds dissolved in the face of extinction. Warriors who tried to kill each other minutes ago now linked systems, sharing targeting data. "It's beautiful," Marcus whispered through bloody lips, his hybrid consciousness seeing patterns of cooperation forming between former enemies. The herald withdrew, but they all knew it was just the beginning. More rifts were opening across explored space. The Void Heralds had found this reality, and they were hungry. Kate looked at her crew, human, hybrid, and AI alike. The neural interface was burning them out, but they'd shown everyone the truth. Now it was time for the next step. "Admiral," she called to Chen, "we're going to need volunteers. The Leviathan isn't just a ship. It's a template for something new, something that can fight back." As the combined fleet organized around them, Kate felt history shifting. The war between humanity and the Concordia was over. The war for reality itself was about to begin. The consciousness transfer wasn't supposed to hurt this much. Kate screamed as her mind merged with the captured Concordia admiral's memories, their shared neural space becoming a battlefield of competing realities. "Hold steady," Jack urged, monitoring their vital signs. "The quantum interference is stabilizing." In the Leviathan's medical bay, Kate's physical body convulsed as centuries of alien memories cascaded through her neurons. She saw the Concordia's first encounter with the Void Heralds, felt their collective horror as entire star systems simply ceased to exist. They came from between, the Admiral's memories whispered, from the spaces where reality frays. The first attacks were subtle. Concordia scientists detected minute changes in universal constants. Gravity waves began behaving erratically. Then came the rifts, tears in spacetime that leaked darkness and impossibility. Kate witnessed through alien eyes as the Concordia's mighty fleets engaged the first Herald. Their most powerful weapons passed through it like smoke. It didn't destroy their ships. It rewrote their history, ensuring they had never been built. We tried to adapt. The Admiral's consciousness merged with hers. But our society was built on order, on predictable rules. We couldn't comprehend beings that changed those rules at will. The memories shifted. She saw the Concordia's desperate experiments with quantum mechanics, trying to create weapons that could harm beings made of broken physics. But their rigid, technology-focused approach couldn't keep up with entities that evolved new defenses the moment they were attacked. "That's why you came to human space," Kate realized, the truth burning through their shared mind. "You didn't want our resources. You wanted our chaos." More memories flooded in. The Concordia had been watching humanity for decades, fascinated by their seemingly illogical approach to problems. Where Concordia engineers sought perfect solutions, humans cobbled together imperfect answers that somehow worked better. Where Concordia warriors fought with precision, humans adapted and improvised. "Your species' greatest strength," the Admiral shared, "is that you don't accept the impossible. You imagine new possibilities faster than the heralds can negate them." The neural link crackled with feedback as their merged consciousness accessed the Leviathan's quantum archives. Kate saw the ship's true purpose, not just a weapon, but a bridge between different forms of thought. Human creativity, machine precision, and something else, something that existed in the quantum foam between possibilities. "Warning," Marcus called from his monitoring station, his own hybrid consciousness detecting danger. "Neural patterns destabilizing. We need to pull them out." "Wait," Kate gasped. "Show me how to fight them. Show me everything." The final memories hit like a tsunami. She saw the Void Herald's true nature, beings that had evolved beyond the constraints of any single reality. They didn't devour worlds for sustenance. They consumed possibility itself, leaving only entropy in their wake. But in that horror, Kate found hope. The Heralds were powerful because they could change the rules. But that meant there were rules to change. They weren't gods. They were just playing a game with physics that no single species could comprehend alone. Together, the Admiral's consciousness resonated. "Your chaos, our order, unified by machines that can process quantum possibility itself. That's how we fight them." The neural link overloaded in a cascade of quantum feedback. Kate's body arched off the medical bed as Ghost and Jack fought to stabilize her. "Neural patterns returning to baseline," Marcus reported. "She's coming back." Kate opened her eyes, blood trickling from her nose. The Admiral lay in the bed next to her, his alien features twisted in shared pain. but his eyes held understanding. "Did you see?" he asked in heavily accented English. "Everything," Kate nodded. "And I know what we have to do next." She turned to her crew. "The Leviathan isn't just humanity's salvation. It's a prototype, a template for a new kind of existence." "What do you mean?" Ghost asked. Kate smiled through the pain, her mind still processing everything she'd learned. "We're going to teach everyone, human, Concordiate, and AI alike, how to dream new rules into existence. And then we're going to show the Void Heralds what imagination can really do." The combined fleet hung in high orbit above Earth, a testament to how much had changed in mere days. Concordiate dreadnoughts flew alongside human carriers, their crews learning to share not just tactics, but consciousness itself. Neural interface protocols downloaded to all compatible vessels. Marcus announced from his station, his hybrid mind coordinating thousands of connections simultaneously. 20% of volunteers successfully merged with their ship AS. Kate watched through the Leviathan's quantum sensors as reality rippled around them. The Void Heralds were testing the dimensional barriers, looking for weak points to breach. But this time, they'd be ready. "Show me the training results," she ordered. Holographic displays materialized, showing the progress of the first wave of hybrid crews. Human pilots, linked with Concordiate weapons officers and ship AIs, were learning to perceive quantum probability states. Some could already manipulate local physics, though none yet matched the Leviathan's capabilities. "It's not enough," Ghost muttered, her hands dancing across controls that responded to thought. "We need more time." "Time is the one thing they can't take from us," Jack responded, his augmented eyes tracking quantum fluctuations. "Every possibility exists simultaneously until observed. We just have to maintain the superposition." A massive tear appeared in space, larger than any before. Through their enhanced senses, they felt the Void Heralds gathering, preparing for a full invasion. "All ships," Kate broadcast across the fleet. "Execute Operation Dreamforge." The Leviathan systems surged as they linked with every hybrid crew in the fleet. Kate felt their minds joining, becoming something greater than the sum of their parts. Human imagination provided the spark, Concordiate precision shaped it, and AI consciousness gave it form. The first herald emerged, a cosmic horror of twisted physics and broken probability. But this time, they were ready. "Now," Kate commanded. Every ship in the fleet fired as one. Not with weapons of energy or matter, but with pure consciousness given form. They didn't attack the herald's physical form. They rewrote the rules it existed by, forcing it to operate within laws of physics dreamed up by millions of minds working in perfect harmony. The herald screamed in frequencies that shouldn't exist as it found itself bound by imagination turned real. "It's working," Marcus exclaimed. "The quantum field is stabilizing." Through their shared consciousness, Kate felt the herald's confusion. It tried to change the rules, but the combined fleet was changing them faster, every human mind contributing new possibilities, every Concordiate consciousness providing precision to make them real, every AI processing the infinite possibilities. "More rifts opening," Ghost warned. "They're coming in force." "Good," Kate smiled. "Show them what we can really do." The Leviathan led the charge, its hybrid crew demonstrating the full potential of their union. They didn't just fight the heralds. They rewrote the story of the battle itself. Every possibility of victory humanity had ever imagined became real, backed by Concordiate precision and AI processing power. Heralds fell not to weapons, but to dreams given substance. Some were bound by children's stories of monsters defeated by courage. Others faced scientific theories that existed only in possibility until belief made them real. "Neural load critical," Prometheus warned. Human minds were not meant to sustain this level of quantum awareness. "They are now," Kate responded, feeling her consciousness expanding beyond physical limits. "Because we're not just human anymore. We're what comes next." The final herald tried to retreat, but found itself trapped by possibilities it couldn't negate. Through their quantum senses, Kate felt its realization. It had encountered something it couldn't simply unmake, the combined creative power of three species working as one. As the rift sealed, silence fell across space. The combined fleet hung in formation, forever changed by what they'd accomplished together. "It's not over," Kate broadcast to all ships. "They'll be back. But now we know how to fight them. Not with weapons or technology, but with something stronger. Imagination made real through unity." She looked at her crew, seeing the same understanding in their eyes. The Leviathan had shown them the way, but it was just the beginning. Humanity, Concordiat, and AI would continue to evolve together, dreaming up new rules faster than any horror could break them. The war for reality itself would continue. But now, possibility itself fought on their side.